Hey everyone, welcome back. If you've been itching for a sci-fi horror experience that doesn't just throw cheap scares at you, but instead gets inside your head and makes you distrust every single person around you, then the next entry in the Dark Pictures Anthology might just be your new obsession. Directive 8020 is taking massive swings, shifting away from pure cinematic storytelling and plunging us directly into a high-stakes survival nightmare. I've put together the 15 crucial things you need to know before you buy. Let's dive straight in. Supermassive Games carved out a reputation for cinematic, choice-driven horror, but this time they're genuinely pushing their formula into uncharted territory. Directive 8020 is easily the series' most ambitious project to date, moving from passive tension into full-blown, real-time survival horror. What does that actually mean for you? Well, you're no longer just steering cutscenes and waiting for button prompts. You're actively navigating danger in a way that feels far more immediate and punishing. This isn't about watching horror unfold. It's about being trapped inside it, heart pounding, palms sweating, genuinely unsure if you'll make it out alive. The shift is bold, and honestly, it's exactly what the series needed to stay fresh. The setting is bleak and brilliantly motivating. Earth is on its deathbed, collapsing ecosystems, dwindling resources, the whole grim package. Humanity's last chance hangs on a desperate scouting mission to a potentially habitable planet located 12 light years away. Now, think about that distance for a second. 12 light years means you're utterly alone out there. No backup, no rescue coming. The weight of an entire species sits squarely on your shoulders, and the game never lets you forget it. Every mistake, every misstep, every moment of hesitation doesn't just endanger your crew, it potentially dooms billions back home. The pressure is absolutely relentless from the moment you arrive. Unlike previous games where strangers are thrown together by luck or circumstance, this crew shares genuine, messy, complicated history. We're talking deep family ties, old wounds that never quite healed, and long-standing friendships built over years of training and shared trauma. When trust starts to fracture, and trust me, it absolutely will. The emotional fallout is devastating. Betraying someone here doesn't just lose a crewmate, it shatters a relationship you've actually invested in. You'll know their backstories, understand their fears, and then be forced to make choices that could destroy them. That emotional gut punch is what separates Directive 8020 from a standard monster flick. At the center of the chaos is Brianna Young, played beautifully by Lana Lynch. She's not your typical grizzled space marine or hardened veteran. Brianna is wrestling with something far more relatable, her own identity and the crushing expectations of her legendary astronaut lineage. Imagine growing up in the shadow of celebrated space explorers, constantly being measured against their achievements. Now imagine being thrust into a nightmare scenario where your every decision is scrutinized. Her internal struggle grounds all the sci-fi terror in something deeply human. You'll root for her not because she's invincible, but because she's vulnerably, achingly real. Lynch's performance brings layers of fragility and quiet strength that elevate the entire narrative. The threat itself is pure nightmare fuel, and I cannot stress this enough. Heavily inspired by John Carpenter's The Thing, the alien force can perfectly mimic human forms. We're not talking obvious monsters with glowing eyes. We're talking about the person standing next to you, the one you just shared a personal story with, potentially being something else entirely. Imagine staring at your closest ally and having absolutely zero certainty they're still them. The game forces you to study speech patterns, watch body language, and pick up on the tiniest inconsistencies just to stay alive. Did they pause a beat too long? Was that phrase slightly out of character? The paranoia is constant and corrosive, eating away at every relationship until you trust no one, not even yourself. Your choices still carry brutal, irreversible weight. Who survives and who bleeds out in the cold vacuum of space is entirely on you. But here's the twist that makes this entry different. The shift to real-time decision-making means hesitation can kill just as quickly as a wrong call. In previous Dark Pictures games, you often had a moment to breathe and consider your options. Not here. Panic, freeze up for even a second, and someone might die because you couldn't act fast enough. The branching narrative is merciless and unforgettable, creating scenarios where you'll replay moments in your head for days afterward, wondering what you could have done differently. Now, if the weight of those permanent choices starts to crush you, there's a brilliant new addition, the Turning Point system. ever made a catastrophic choice and desperately wished you could take it back. Directive 8020 handles this elegantly. A visual story tree lets you rewind time and revisit pivotal moments, uncovering alternate scenes and changing outcomes without completely ruining your entire playthrough. What's clever is that this doesn't feel like cheating. It's presented more like exploring the multiverse of your own decisions, letting you see how things could have unfolded differently. You'll discover entire scenes and character moments you completely missed on your first run, adding massive replay value without cheapening the tension. Exploration remains absolutely essential, and it's now richer than ever. Poking through abandoned corridors, dimly lit labs, and crew quarters reveals deep, century-spanning Dark Pictures lore. But it goes further than that. You'll uncover documents, audio logs, and hidden recordings that expose the sinister corporate conspiracies hiding in the shadows of this mission. Who funded this expedition? What were they really looking for? The answers are disturbing and layered. For those who love piecing together a larger universe, connecting threads between games, and uncovering dark secrets the main story only hints at, this game is going to absolutely eat your time alive. Every drawer you open, every terminal you hack, could reveal something crucial or something horrifying. Playing alone is terrifying, but sharing that fear with friends creates an entirely different kind of experience. The beloved movie night mode returns, letting up to 5 local players pass a single controller around for different characters. Perfect for a horror night where everyone's screaming at the TV together. And if your friends aren't physically on the couch with you, don't worry. Online multiplayer is coming as a completely free post-launch update, so no one needs to face the alien alone. Cooperative paranoia hits different when you're all second-guessing each other's decisions in real time. The debates, the arguments, the shared guilt when someone dies, it's chaos in the best way. Built from the ground up in Unreal Engine 5, the game's visual presentation is not just good, it's absurdly detailed in ways that genuinely enhance the horror. Skin textures look eerily realistic. Micro expressions on faces convey terror and suspicion without a single word. And dynamic lighting transforms every corridor into a potential death trap. When your flashlight catches something wrong in the corner of a room, the engine makes it hit harder than ever before. Shadows move, figures shift, and the line between what's real and what's paranoia blurs constantly. This isn't just graphical flexing, it's atmospheric storytelling at its finest. High-end systems get a real treat with this release. On PC, you've got DLSS 4.5 and full path tracing support that makes lighting, shadows, and reflections eerily realistic. Light bounces naturally off metallic surfaces, shadows pool in corners with unsettling depth, and every flickering emergency light feels tangible. If you're on a PS5 Pro, PSSR upscaling, and advanced ray tracing, keep the experience crisp, smooth, and visually stunning, even during the most chaotic encounters where multiple threats are bearing down on you. The developers have clearly optimized this to be a showcase title for current-gen hardware. If you're the kind of player who loves to go deeper, there's also a Digital Deluxe Edition up for grabs. Priced a notch above the standard version, this bundle wraps the base game together with a digital art book that dives into the twisted creature designs and abandoned ship concepts, plus the full original soundtrack so you can soak in that creeping dread even outside the game. On top of that, you'll get an exclusive in-game cosmetic pack for Brianna and a few other crew members. Nothing that breaks immersion, just subtle, lore-friendly gear that nods to the franchise past. It's a solid pickup if you're a completionist or just want to own a little piece of the Dark Pictures universe beyond the main story. No early access shenanigans, just extra content that rewards dedicated fans from day one. Now let's talk hardware requirements. You don't need a supercomputer to run this game, but you do need something reasonably solid. Minimum specs call for an Intel Core i5-8500 or AMD Ryzen 5-3500 combined with 16 gigabytes of RAM. That's not an outrageously high bar, but older rigs are definitely going to struggle, especially in the more intense real-time sequences. If you're sitting on aging components, it might be time to plan some upgrades. The full recommended specs haven't been fully detailed yet, but expect them to scale upwards significantly if you want those crisp Unreal Engine 5 visuals running smoothly. Mark your calendars properly because the wait is almost over. Directive 8020 hits, PlayStation 5, Xbox Series X and S, and PC via Steam simultaneously on May 12th. No messy delays, no staggered platform releases, no frustrating waiting games. Everyone gets thrown into the horror on the exact same day. It's a unified launch, which is exactly what a community-driven game like this needs. Whether you're Team Console or Team PC, you'll be experiencing the paranoia alongside everyone else. So after everything we've covered, is Directive 8020 worth your time and money? Look, if you're a fan of tense, paranoia-filled sci-fi horror that genuinely trusts you to make tough choices, this one is shaping up to be something special. The shift to real-time survival horror, the emotional crude dynamics, and that brilliant turning point system all point to a game with serious replay value. At $49.99 for the standard digital edition, you're getting a complete, polished experience with no hidden tricks. Considering the production quality, the branching narrative, and the sheer ambition on display, that price feels more than fair. For horror fans, this is an easy recommendation. So there you have it, a deeper dive into the shape-shifting paranoia, emotional wreckage, and reinvigorated survival horror that Directive 8020 is bringing to the table this May. What do you think? Fire away in the comments. Like what you saw, then smash that subscribe button and hit the bell to never miss a beat. We're here every week with fresh, high-quality content, and your support keeps us going. Thanks for watching. Catch you on the next one.